During the events of Star Rail Fest, Ashvale discovered what the happiness surgery truly entails. Implanting the flesh and blood of the abominations of abundance. Given the gravity of the situation, we decided to go to Graphia Academy and first launch an investigation into Fullwish. During the course of events, we unexpectedly crossed paths with Fullwish herself. Also a survivor of the blood-stained games, she openly joined the Phantasmoon Games and invited supplicants to travel to Seafeld City, where the winner would be decided in a televised debate. During our exchange with Fullwish, Himiko realized that Fullwish might be a masked fool. As a result, I asked Sparksy to investigate the tavern for leads, and through that, we identified Fullwish's ability, the happiness syntax. Evanesia and Yao Guang established a cooperation agreement. After Evanesia's attempt to assess Fullwish in her capacity as the arbitrator failed, they encountered Blade and his group and learned that the flesh implanted in the happiness surgery originated from Shuhu, an emanator of abundance. Himiko and I went to the TV station to take part in the debate and met up with Sunday and Ashvale, who had arrived ahead of us. However, the debate turned out to be a carefully orchestrated trap. In full view of the public, all those who had undergone the surgery transformed into terrifying monsters, and Fullwish framed both the IPC and the Astral Express as the masterminds behind it all. When the disaster erupted, Evanesia willingly violated a forbidden taboo and revealed the real purpose of the Phantasmoon Games, to suppress the terrifying entity slumbering within Plain Arcadia. Through this act, she unlocked the original power of the ambrosial arbor within herself and intervened in the unfolding situation. At the same time, Silverwolf, entrusted by Pearl, set out to investigate the anomalous signal responsible for the monster's emergence, only to be obstructed by Mr. Meanie. As the force backing Fullwish, he wields tremendous power, powerful enough to interfere with the Stellaron Hunter's script. Meanwhile, Fullwish continued to livestream our movements in the TV tower, distorting the truth by every possible means. Drawing upon the wish power of 200,000 victims, she manifested the Meanie Phantasmoon in an attempt to defeat us individually. Thankfully, Silverwolf regained the power of the Ether cartridge level 999 and dealt with it before it was too late. After overcoming every obstacle in our path, we reached the top of the TV tower and confronted Fullwish head-on. Drawing on the people's wish power, she briefly held the upper hand. Ultimately, I used the Stellaron within me to bear that wish power, thereby stepping onto the path of elation and defeating her once and for all. Even so, those who had undergone the surgery did not recover. At Blade's proposal, everyone joined forces to concentrate all of Shuhu's flesh within his body, freeing the victims from the influence of the happiness surgery. Just when I thought the crisis was over, Evanesia requested that I warn the creator of the world in canvas. According to her, Asad Pramad, the Lord Ravager who once attempted to eliminate Plain Arcadia, has returned again.
has been severely affected by the incident. Citizens are advised to remain patient and await assistance. Moving on to our special segment, the Phantasm in Brief.
You're back! The incident that happened at Full Wish TV is causing a huge stir. Come watch the news!
Hello, everyone! Welcome to our brand new segment, the Phantasm Brief. I'm your host, Poofy!
Hi, everyone! This is your old friend, Snowy!
Well then, as the Phantasm Games reach a boiling point, and for reasons that need no explanation, we are now joining Duo Mention TV to bring you live coverage of the latest and most critical news updates.
Yes, we are! And after the director of Full Wish TV and sponsor of the Research Society of Happy Smiles, Full Wish announced that she was joining the Phantasm Games! That terrifying tragedy of 15 years ago once again swept through the psionic game!
The supplicant debate, slated to take place at the Seafeld TV tower, was cut short when out-of-control Imaginee known as Joy Ascendants appeared suddenly and launched an attack. This Imagenesis plague centered on Seafeld City spread rapidly. Even Full Wish herself turned into a monster atop the Seafeld TV tower.
As of the latest reports, nearly 200,000 human and Imaginee inhabitants across plain Arcadia have been affected by the plague. Countless individuals are injured or missing, and total losses are estimated to have reached 8.6 billion credits. And in a chilling echo of the Bloodstained Games 15 years ago, footage left behind by Full Wish points to the disaster as the work of supplicants from beyond the sky.
She identified the culprits as the famed cosmic hero, the trailblazer of the Astral Express, and the wanted criminal, Stellaron Hunter Blade, claiming they were responsible for the tragedy.
But a spokesperson for the Department of Aberration Defense said the disaster was planned and executed by Full Wish herself through her organization, the Research Society of Happy Smiles. They added that the investigation will continue and the organization will be shut down.
Oh, how familiar that sounds. 15 years ago, they made the same excuses. What is the real story behind this? The Phantasm Brief will continue to keep you updated.
Over 500 years ago, a prophet made a prediction. In year 1999, a terrifying devil will descend from the sky. Will this prophecy come true? Can plain Arcadia safely make it through this crucial year? We will have to wait and see. Shame on them. How can they just say things like that on TV when it's not even confirmed? And the internet is flooded with fake news about you too. Also, those two hosts, weren't they from Full Wish TV? They were spreading nasty stories about you on the news before. And now look, they've immediately jumped ship after what happened to Full Wish. Since when did you get so understanding? I'm happy you made it back safely, but somehow you just don't seem quite the same. Oh no. You're trying to grow up and leave me behind. Don't tell me you're becoming the next Don Hung. No. Is this what it takes to become a hero? If you're all grown up and serious, we just can't click like we used to anymore. Oh, right. Tell me about what happened at the TV tower. I've heard Don Hung and Sunday's side of the story, but I haven't heard yours yet. So, Full Wish had people undergo the happiness surgery to implant Shuhu's flesh into their bodies And that ended up causing this disaster? And you guys stopped the mutation from spreading, but all you managed to do was to temporarily seal Shuhu's flesh inside Blade? And then you mentioned that Nessia, the one we met at Star Rail Fest, is actually the Phantasy Moon Games arbitrator? No wonder she could draw a mask for you. And she also asked you to go deep into the world in Canvas to warn, who was it again? Who is that?
Yes, Graphia. Himiko's ancestor. She's an artist from 1,000 years ago.
Himiko's ancestor? She's still alive? Wait, that's not even the most important part. Nessia asked you to warn Graphia that the Lord Ravager, Asat Pramod, is back? Why does the Express have such bad luck? By this point, whenever we go on vacation, I'm always ready to deal with random problems. But running into another Lord Ravager while on vacation? This is way over the line. A Lord Ravager, Evanessia's request, Shuhu's flesh and Blade's body, and the unfinished Phantasy Moon Games. Suddenly, there are so many things to deal with. Feels like we're juggling a bunch of eggs all at once. One slip, and it's all gonna go splat. Are you okay? I shouldn't have asked so many questions. Didn't mean to stress you out or make you worried. I'm gonna go take a minute and collect myself.
So many things to deal with right now. What should I do next? I've had a long day. I should just get some rest.
Weld, he's tired. Let him sleep. You're obviously tired. I never thought this vacation would become the prelude to yet another major war.
From our very first steps, trouble has always followed the Nameless. But this is way too much.
Look at you now. It takes me back to when I first got the Express running again. Aside from Pom Pom, I was the only crew member on board. Constantly stretched thin and feeling out of my depth. All I could do was note every problem in the navigation log, one by one. A world's coordinates that needed an update. A glitch in the Express's warp system. The notes were as dense as the coordinates on the astral charts, leaving me completely overwhelmed. Back then, I never imagined the Astral Express would one day have to face a Lord Ravager. But strangely, now that the time has come again, I'm not panicking at all. Come to think of it, it's because of you. Because of all of you. Along the way, we have defeated 2 Lord Ravagers. The Nameless who guided me before I set out once told me, "Keep moving forward, and the obstacles that once felt impossible to conquer will soon be behind you. And along the way, you'll find companions who are just like you." I've seen you grow through the Phantom Moon games, becoming someone others can trust and lean on. And I heard the declaration you made atop the tower. I'm truly proud of you. That's why I want to share a story from the past with you. A promise from 15 years ago. I promised someone that when the moon over my hometown was full again, I would go back to see her, to let her know I had made the most of this borrowed life, and found companions I could trust with all my heart. I want to share this story with you all. The story of how my journey began. Because it's a long story, filled with many memories of my past. I'd also like to invite you all to the place where I repaired the Express and tell you everything bit by bit.
All right, it's a deal. When I return from the world in canvas, you can make us... let Shush make us some coffee, huh? Then we'll settle in and listen to your story.
Speaking of the world in canvas, March told me about what Evanescia said to you. Evanessia's request was not made lightly, and she was worried for a reason. Silverwolf saw that Lord Ravager in action too. According to the records from the databank and the IPC's investigation, Asat Pramad's campaigns often span centuries, and the planets he targets all end up destroyed in freak accidents, leaving their surfaces covered in only smiling faces. 1,000 years ago, my ancestor Graphia created the world in canvas. If that was to resist Asat Pramad's invasion of Ahatopia, then could this disaster unleashed through the Phantom Moon games be the prelude to his next invasion? That's the first of many mysteries. Based on our family history, we are clearly not descendants of any long-lived species. Quite the opposite. The weathering curse has shortened my family's lifespan for generations. What could my ancestor have gone through to still exist today? That too leaves me deeply curious. There are far too many legends about her. It's hard to tell what's true and what's not. Only 2 things are beyond doubt. First, during the Cinderth Age, she created countless Imaginae and sent them into battle against the demon legions from beyond. Second, near the end of one of the Phantom Moon games, she created the world in canvas to shelter inside it what was left of civilization and life. Which means she is not only familiar with Asat Pramad, but has also witnessed the manifestation of the Eon of Elation. Nobody knows just how big the plane Graphia created actually is. Over 140 years ago, the IPC tried to salvage the world in canvas, but they were only able to reconstruct part of it in the real world. That portion became what we know as Plain Arcadia. Legend has it that Graphia used a vast ocean as her canvas and channeled the power of elation to step into the painting, which means she has not only seen Asat Pramod, but has also seen the Eon of Elation descend in all their glory. Good question. As for who in Plain Arcadia knows Graphia and the world in canvas best, it's probably Pearl. She was sent here by the IPC. She should have some clues to guide us in the right direction. By the way, General Yao Guang is here. She says she wants to talk to you in private. I'm not sure if she comes with good news or bad news. She brought a little gift from the Cienjo, though. Mung bean soda. Go talk to General Yao Guang, then. Don't keep her waiting. After that, come to the party car and fill us in on your next move.
Nice to meet you, Ishvara. I always thought that the arbitrator, Evanesia, would step in and punish Fullwish for the disaster she caused. But, to my surprise, it was you who defeated Fullwish. In my capacity as an Arbiter General, I extend my deepest gratitude to you for halting the plague and sparing countless lives from suffering. What I am about to tell you is something Evanesia risked breaking the rules to share with me. Please keep it a secret. Not a word of this leaves the Express. Sealed within Ahatopia's core is Ouroboros, the Veracity.
You mean the Leviathan that can swallow whole planets? That Ouroboros, the Veracity?
Looks like you know a thing or two about Ouroboros.
I've seen that terrifying thing in Herta's simulated universe.
Rumor has it, they were last seen during the era of the Swarm disaster. They were hardly there to aid the Swarm, but rather to attend a cosmic-level feast, in which the Swarm served merely as appetizers, and the planets they passed were devoured as the main course. No one expected them to be here of all places, sealed away on this very planet after vanishing for years. The true situation remains unknown. But with this information, we can understand why Asat Pramod set his sights on this world. Aren't you a little afraid, facing a huge disaster like this? That's impressive, Ishvara. No wonder you survived the calamity of Iron Tomb. Fortune follows when fate hits its lowest ebb. Every crisis comes with an opportunity. Now that we know a force capable of devouring stars is deep in slumber at this planet's core, perhaps we could make it devour the problem inside Blade's body. It might just be a risky path worth taking. Blade has agreed to my proposal and will venture into the world in canvas to seek out the Veracity. From what I've heard, you are going there as well. I cast a divination, and the hexagram shifted between the marsh and fire trigrams, yielding the judgment. Heaven and earth are separate and apart, but the work which they do is the same. In other words, though your paths may differ, they are destined to intersect. A funeral, or an adventure. Will it be a battle with only a 1 in 10 chance of survival to tear away Shuhu's flesh from his body and eliminate the Xianzhou's arch-enemy? Or will it be a journey in which he settles all grudges and never looks back? It all depends on how he perceives it. Blade agreed to my proposal, even though that little Stellaron hunter girl wouldn't stop objecting. Betting? No, I don't see it that way. We are not chips laid on a gaming table, nor dice tossed at someone's whim. We trust in people, in ourselves, and in those beside us, knowing they can change the course of even the most desperate battle. That belief is what gave you the strength to overcome Full Wish. It is also the only reason I stay for this world. My purpose has never changed. I am going to draw the elation into my divination, and overturn a fate marked for great woe. I have a plan for how to handle Asat Pramod if he strikes unexpectedly, but I still need more hands to make it work. What miracle could cap off these games better than a finale that humbles a Lord Ravager? It will be a tribute to the elation. The shadow of the Lord Ravager looms, and from here on, everyone must carry their part of the burden. I will take my leave first.
Before I set out, I still want to say a few words to everyone.